So you know how like people talk about projecting and they're
Hmm.
like, well, that person blamed you for this because they're projecting onto you the things that they hate about themselves. And
Yeah.
so, I was really thinking about just in my life in general, like how people that I've been in spaces with will, it's not even just like, how they always use the example where it's like they'll accuse you of cheating if they're cheating. I hate that
Yeah.
example because
Yeah.
while it does exist, there are so many other things. Like they'll
Absolutely.
accuse you of being, a bad communicator because they don't communicate well and they
Hmm.
see that in you. Or
Hmm.
there's just this whole line of things. But then I started thinking about the way people pleasers do it in reverse. And so so I started thinking,
Hmm.
when I am a people pleaser,
Yeah.
I look at the other person and think their intentions are the same as mine and excuse behaviors based on that projection. So it's like I filter everything through the lens of positivity because that's how I live my life. And it takes literal months, years even, to see that not everybody thinks and moves like you. So,
Hmm.
yes, that was vindictive. Yes, that was cruel. Yes, they are doing this thing on purpose. And then I thought, that's why it takes us so long to see the narcissist. That's why it takes us so long.
So I want to get into this because you're gonna either really enjoy or absolutely despise the next two videos. Well, the last two videos I recorded. This is the most unadulterated I've ever been, the most transparent, etc. Right, and it feeds off of that one liner that hit me, which is you're not a victim, you're a participant, right? Until you no longer participate. So you said the people pleaser is doing in reverse. In truth, the people pleaser is doing the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Watch. The people pleaser and the narcissist, and again, the term narcissist, I wish we didn't overuse it so much because now
Same.
it's lost its substance. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we're calling certain behaviors that are just toxic or unconscious. Like, we're calling all sorts of things narcissism that really aren't. Like, they're
Really
true
aren't. Yeah.
narcissists, and it is an actual percentage of the population, right? But you could say, oh, those traits can be considered as narcissistic. Yeah, those traits can be considered as OCD or ADHD or whatever else, right? Those traits can be considered as a damn seizure, but it wasn't. Right?
Correct.
It doesn't
Yep.
classify. So what I've really gotten down to is this because I care about freedom of people, and freedom only comes from responsibility or accountability, right? Which is what role do I play so I can do my part. The people pleaser and the narcissist are the same person inverted, but they have the same emotional set point. So there was an example I gave back in the day, and I said control. There's one person who is afraid of being controlled, and the other who's afraid of being out of control. Those two people are perfect simpatico, perfect match.
Yes.
I don't want nobody to control me. The word trying to control me, and then this one, I'm afraid of. They're both in fear. They're both resonating in the exact same energy. They're a perfect match, right? So when I really started deep in this and got real honest with myself, I said, bruh, you as the people pleaser who is still considering yourself in that space and still entertaining and engaging these relationships, you love those relationships. You thrive in those relationships. And I remember I had a conversation with one of my clients. I'm not going to out her name, but it was one of the most breakthrough moments. And she was one of those like resistant, but she'll still give me some. And at the end, I'll be like, oh, she actually really got what I was talking about. She was just
Yeah.
quiet or whatever, right? So she was talking about a man she's seeing at the time, and I said, okay, so you say he's all these things, and every week you got something to report about him. Okay, so I said, so tell me this: if he changed tomorrow, how would you feel about that? Like if he became the actual this man of your dreams, if he became that person tomorrow, how would you feel? And she stopped and she said, oh. Well, she didn't say off the top, well, I would love that, like most of us would pretend. Her actual thought process was running and said, oh, wait a minute. Well, it'd be kind of strange, but bingo, there we go. It would be out of the norm. You wouldn't want it. You have an unwritten contract with that person in that relationship. So long as you stay that, I stay this. So long as you
Yes.
display those, I can display these, right? I can only
Hmm.
play this people pleaser, victim, or martyr, or whatever cape I'm wearing. I can only wear that when you are being the user or the abuser. That's the only way I can play my role, you know?
And it's the reason why we do everything, right? Because it's comfort. Comfort, we feel like comfort is a protective mechanism, right? So I'm going to stay in
Hmm.
this toxic relationship because it's comfortable. It's the devil that I know. I'm going to
Yeah,
continue to have anxiety because there's comfort in having anxiety. I'm going to continue to
absolutely.
have whatever this thing is because the protection is in the control of knowing. It's not
Exactly.
about the thing. It's the control of knowing the thing.
That's right. That's so both individuals are the same. Batman is the Joker. They're
Yes.
both going out and
Yes.
believe they have a cause and believe they're this, and they're both causing violence and both, you know what I mean? One just believes that they're saving the city, and the other knows they're saving the city.
100%.
You know what I mean? When
100%.
Carrie, when I really, because again, this is one where I'm like, it's become actually that what's become toxic is this culture of blame, right? Because it takes us out of power. We're done. The moment we are okay, I am now surrounded in a world full of narcissists, and you're living this life on defense. You're not looking at yourself anymore. And I know these dating coaches
100%.
are thriving off of that because divisiveness will sell, right? People will buy into again that familiar script. Okay, so I am the victim, and I don't have anything to blame in the situation. I saw a Facebook post maybe 3 or 4 months back, and there was this girl. It was people who reposted this, and I was like, we are so far gone. She said, like if life was fair, if only you actually got to choose your baby daddy. And I
You
sat there
did
for
you.
no way. Yeah. So I sat there and because I felt like I was reading a riddle, right? I was like, wait, is she? I was like, oh no, she actually means what she's saying. She actually believes that she didn't choose the person that she.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
oh, sweetheart, we're far gone. Oh,
Yeah. Because you chose him. And I would go as far as to say you knew the way that he was going to be as a dad because you saw the way that he was with you. There are no surprises here.
correct. Correct. So
Yeah.
that mentality is like, though everybody's not that articulate about it or may not even say anything, I can smell it in the air, and I'm just like, there's a prevailing belief, and that's why for me, I also started stepping away from the space of like about the narcissist because even when I was coming out of that relationship, I stayed in that spiral for a long time of like them, not realizing like
Intellectualizing. Yeah.
correct. But then it was like, no, bro, it's about you. Like it's about your self respect or your lack thereof. It's about your lack of self esteem. It's about the lack of self love that you have. That's why you got in that relationship. That's the person doesn't exist without those elements. Like now,
Doesn't even
I
matter.
can't.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like again, out of my last relationship, I would. Oh well, she had this and then she's a narcissist. No, she's not. She's not. We're not simpatico in so many different ways, and that was okay. But I can register that differently now, because I would have
Well,
called
yeah,
oh
because
narcissist.
the natural inclination is to say if enough things are wrong with that person, then
Mm-hmm.
nothing is wrong with me, right? So like if
Oh,
I can come
whoa,
up with enough reasons that that person
whoa,
was wrong, then there's nothing in me that was wrong. Even if the
whoa.
choosing of the person was the thing you did wrong,
Absolutely.
you also allowed all of the things that happened to you inside of that space. So like a question that my therapist has always asked me is like if I would go in complaining, like this is
Yeah.
happening and this is happening and this is happening, she would say, "You're not the victim of your circumstances. So what does that say about you?" And I
Oh,
would go, "What?" So then of course you have this whole like thought process in your brain where you're like, wait, it doesn't say anything about me because this is happening to me. And she goes,
that's
yeah, it
right.
happened to you, but it also is data. So if
That
you've picked the same type of person, if you're in relationship with the same type of people, if you're constantly accepting these behaviors from people, how is that serving you? Because if it wasn't serving you, you'd stop doing it.
oh, that's so good. That's so good. And the craziest part about it is this: we live in the upside down. I was saying this to Coach Bob yesterday. We live in the upside down because right is wrong, wrong is right, dark is light, light is dark in the eyes of most, right? And I say the thing that will set you free is the thing that you think is bondage. So you are fearing responsibility for your own thoughts, emotions, actions, and outcomes, right? When that is the very thing that's going to give you the freedom you seek. I feel powerless. Guess what's going to give you power? Responsibility and accountability. The things you're running from, the things you're trying to put on somebody else, that's the power giveaway. It's not they took your power because they were so strongholded you and abuse. That's not what took your power. What took your power away is you saying, I can't help that this person is doing these things. And like you said, now you perpetuate that relationship cycle. I think that was a Freudian slip. I said recycle. You are recycling. The same
Yes,
damn
that
plastic
too.
bottle. That's what you're doing. The same plastic bottle. The one I'm about to
Well,
pour into this.
you think about it too, it's because we hold the spaces that we inhabit higher than we do the value of our own personal knowing. So it's like, I'm inhabiting this space, so I belong. Someone's choosing me. Even if they're treating me poorly, they've chosen me.
Yeah.
But you forget that in order to be chosen by them, you've abandoned yourself because you hold that title higher than you
Ooh.
hold your actual knowing and authenticity.
Oh. Because somebody told you that your purpose was to be in a relationship.
100%.
And you believed it.
100%.
And you believed it.
You went to every family reunion and the first thing they ask you is, when you gonna get married?
Oh.
They don't ask you nothing else. You're literally conditioned to
Oh.
think that's the only thing that makes me of value to these people. So let me hurry up and get it. Doesn't matter who fills the spot.
You know what's crazy, Gary? Like I had a moment where there was like I finally saw this in myself. I was out in public and there was like these ladies. Well, like some lady said something to me. We joked around, and she had her daughter with her, who was like maybe my age, a little younger. And I told my girl at the time. I said, I was like, oh man, like that was like hilarious what that mom said. And I was like, whoa, hold up, why? Wait. Why is she a mom? Because she's a mother. That's her identity. She's a mom. And I was like, oh my god, how often do I do this? I'm like all the time. I call them like, oh, that mom. What is
Yes.
that conditioning? So your entire identity is mom.
Yes. 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 And then we wonder why we don't know who we are outside of our titles because we
Oh,
literally have walked around as the titles for so long, and then we will literally hold on to the title before we will become ourselves. Like I can't get let go of that title because then I don't know who I am without it. And then if I
oh,
let go, and literally what you just said, it's the bondage. It's the
yeah, it
bondage
is.
of not allowing what to exist, what's supposed to exist in your life to exist for the
Yeah.
sake of fulfilling a role that someone else has created the expectations or and you never checked in with yourself to actually see who you're supposed to exist as.
Uh oh. You mean they created the requirements? What education you need? What? Uh oh. You turn in your resume to match what they. Oh wait, hold up.
100%.
Oh okay. That no, that's a
You done
word
read
right
the
there.
job description and created the resume off the job
Based
description
off the
instead of
job
creating the
description.
right, instead of creating the resume for actually what you want to exist as.
Now you mad that you at the job you don't like. Yo,
100%. Look,
now you
and
mad that you
no,
with.
and walk around talking about it's a toxic work environment. You signed the contract, right? You didn't know? You didn't know this was the job responsibility? Like it's it's the same with relationship. It's the same with all the things, right?
When you were saying that, I didn't even see a job. I was just seeing a relationship. That's what I was seeing. That's the job you signed up. I can't believe I'm at this. And look at the crazy. Because look, we also, what does it give us? We get the affection, the attention, the sympathy, right? And sometimes those matter far more than the abuse that we're willing to withstand. We'll put up with the pain and the, but we get, oh, wait. So you're telling me, and this was a big one. I remember when Coach first really broke this down for me, and I actually started seeing it in my outside world. And it's like, sometimes you'll be afraid to lose that weight because you know that once you step back in those circles with your bigger friends, etc., the ones still having those same habits, now you're the skinny bitch they were talking about. Now you're the, like, now there's no longer that resonance. Now who am I?
Yes.
Damn, I'm gonna be on the
Yes.
back burner. Or now I can't even. Oh, and again, they were identifiers for you, right? Because you're supposed to be the people around you, not just a, God forbid, an autonomous human being with your own free will. You're supposed to be the
100%.
collective. So now I step back in my friend group and I say, you know what? Ah, screw it. I'm gonna just go eat whatever today. And then you do it again and again, and then now you mad a year later. I just don't know why I can't lose no weight. It's because you care more about being a part of that conversation, talking about somebody. You care more about the
100%.
sympathy. You care more about Carrie. If you knew how many times I knew good and damn well how the power of the tongue, right? Speak life or speak death. I knew this since I was a little kid. I was raised on this type of word, and had at least an inkling, and then I truly had an understanding the older I got. And I came to a point where I was like I understand this and I know this, but why am I still not speaking life over myself? And you know what happened? Or you know what discovery I had at least? I said, oh, it's because when I step into certain circles, I'm afraid of them seeing me as insensitive or not understanding. Uh-oh. I walk in there
There it
positive and
is.
everybody else is, well, I can't add to your struggle story, so I'm going to just, okay, let me look for my struggle then. And now I'm keeping myself in the very same perpetual cycle because I'm afraid to say, you know what? I'm actually having a great day today. Like things are going very well. Like things are exceptional. Wait, but surely there must be something going wrong in your life. I mean, surely there's something to complain about. You've been, well, what about the, no, those things are actually going really well for me right now. Oh, oh, we don't like that. No, I'm
No.
sorry. You can't be part of this club. No, we need complaint. And that's the fear. Now you all by yourself over there, or seemingly by yourself over there.
Which is crazy
Take
too, because the whole
responsibility
the whole
and freedom by yourself.
right in freedom though. You surrounded by freedom. What you
Exactly,
mad? Because you're not
exactly.
surrounded
Now
by people.
you looking back over the fence, like, damn, the plantation's looking real good right now.
It's like the person who's been in jail for some time. They got to work
Oh,
out, they
yes,
got friends, they did all these things, and then they get out into freedom and they're like, wait, I need to go back. Wait, you want to go back to bondage? Like,
yeah,
I don't understand.
correct. Now you got to pay taxes. Damn, I ain't had to pay no
Right?
taxes in jail.
You look, you in a whole nother cell and didn't even know it.
I
Um,
was, Carrie, I was literally writing about this. So the latest book I'm writing right now is called "Escaping Victimhood." Funny enough, and there's actually a segment that I've had screenshotted for you, like since the day that was relevant, which is like been a week ago. Maybe it's gonna be relevant again tomorrow. Who knows? So I'll send that to you at some point in time. But
potential.
but there was a part that I was writing in there, and I said you have to understand that freedom has a cost, right? And the reason why a lot of us will not run, or most people won't run to their freedom, is because subconsciously they know there's a cost. So when you're a slave or enslaved person, let's use the actual historic situation. You never had to deal with your own finances, the economics of your household, right? Like everything is provided, even though it's a crappy environment, it's the worst type of conditions, you still didn't have to be responsible for X, Y, and Z in your life. The moment you step out of that space, and I know you know what I'm talking about at a very deep level, right? Now you got to
Hmm.
become the only one you're relying on. You know, when you step in that space, now all of a sudden, wait a minute, how does this insurance work? Wait, he was or she was paying for the, wait, damn, okay, what is the interest? Now the responsibility, that's the weight of freedom. But it is freedom, nevertheless. So freedom ultimately, and I use this example of, when you're at the job, as long as you can blame the boss or give credit to the boss, you will always say, okay, thank you for the raise. They're the reason for my financial abundance. But then on the other side, you could say, man, the reason why I'm financially struggling is because of my boss, right? You always have a scapegoat. The moment your boss is no longer the scapegoat and you're no longer blaming, now there's only you to look at, like you're saying with the relationship. And so now you're in a place where you're like, damn, okay, my finances are messed up because, oh, damn, I actually got to create a game plan now. Oh, wait, that bill wasn't paid because
You mean
that's
all of
freedom.
this is because of me? Like
Yes,
that's
that's
the thing. It's
freedom,
like
though. That's the,
yes, because the funny thing is that people forget somehow that they have a choice. Like
oh,
there's a choice
uh-oh.
in all of it. You can
Oh,
choose something different, and I think
yeah.
that we get so stuck in, I mean, even conversations that I have with people who do the victimhood thing, I I say, but there's a choice, right? So like you're choosing this
Yeah.
thing that you're in. So what might be the other choice? Well, the other choice is freedom, but I don't know that space. So I'm going to stay
Exactly.
right here.
Correct.
So basically you're choosing bondage because bondage feels stable. But if you
Mm.
chose freedom, you'd get to just run and you don't know what you would do as that person.